Hello everyone, I am Amol Godle. In last video, we had learned inverse trigonometric function, that is domain, range and properties of inverse trigonometric function. In this video, we will learn the examples from exercise 3.3 and tricks and shortcut to solve these examples. So before starting the examples, we will see the concept in short, that is domain and range of inverse trigonometric function. The following table shows the domain and range of all inverse trigonometric functions. So here the domain for sine inverse close interval -1, and the domain of cos inverse is also close interval -1, 1. Now the domain of tan inverse, which is set of real numbers, as well as the domain of cot inverse, which is also set of real numbers. Now the range of sine inverse, which is sine inverse of x close interval -π/2, π/2. Now the domain of cosec inverse is also close interval -π/2, π/2, except the point 0, which is midpoint of this interval. Now the range for cos inverse of x, which is close interval 0, π. The range of sec inverse is also same, close interval 0, π, except the π/2, which is midpoint of this interval 0, π. Now the range for tan inverse, which is open interval -π/2, π/2, and the range of cot inverse open interval 0, π. So how we can remember this all domain and range? So for domain, here the domain of sine inverse and cos inverse are same, the domain of tan inverse and cot inverse are same, as well as the domain of sec inverse and cosec inverse are same. So to remember the domain, we will make the pairs of sine and cos, tan inverse and cot inverse, as well as sec inverse and cosec inverse. And for range, we will make the pairs, that is sine inverse and cosec inverse. So here, as we know, sine and cosec are reciprocal of each other, so we can correlate those relation to remember this range for inverse trigonometric function. Now the range of cos inverse and sec inverse are same, so in sec inverse we have to subtract the midpoint of this interval, and the range of tan is same as sine and cosec, but instead of close interval we have to take open interval. Similarly, the range of cot inverse is open interval 0, π. Similar like cos inverse and sec inverse, instead of close interval we have to take open interval. So to find the principal values, we must know the range of each and every inverse trigonometric function. So here the range are also called the principal branch value of inverse trigonometric functions. Let's see the properties of inverse trigonometric functions. The first one, sine inverse of x is equal to cosec inverse of 1/x. X must be belongs to -1 to 1 and x is non-zero. Second one, cos inverse of x is equal to sec inverse of 1/x. X lies between -1 to 1 and x is non-zero. Third one, tan inverse of x equal to cot inverse of 1/x if x is positive, and if x is negative, then tan inverse of x equal to -π plus cot inverse of 1/x if x is negative. Second one, sine inverse of -x is equal to minus sine inverse of x where x is lies between -1, 1, tan inverse of minus x, which is equal to minus tan inverse of x for all x belongs to R. Cosec inverse of minus x is equal to minus cosec inverse of x if mod of x greater than or equal to 1. So to remember these properties, we can relate these all properties with reciprocal trigonometric function, as sine is reciprocal of cosec, cos is reciprocal of sec, tan is reciprocal of cot. As well as to remember these identities, we can relate with sine of minus theta as minus sine theta, tan of minus theta is minus tan theta, cosec of minus theta is minus cosec theta. So the negative angle formula, which already we have learned in 11th, those we have to remember this inverse trigonometric function. Next one, cos inverse of minus x is pi minus cos inverse of x for x lies between -1 and 1. Sec inverse of minus x is pi minus sec inverse of x for mod of x greater than or equal to 1. Cot inverse of minus x equal to pi minus cot inverse of x for all x belongs to R. Next one, sin inverse of x plus cos inverse of x is equal to pi by 2 for -1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 1. Tan inverse of x plus cot inverse of x equal to pi by 2 for x belongs to R. Cosec inverse of x plus sec inverse of x equal to pi by 2 for x greater than or equal to 1. So here you can take the adjacent pairs to remember these identities, that is sin cos, tan cot, sec and cosec. Next one, tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y equal to tan inverse of x plus y upon 1 minus xy, where x positive, y positive and x into y is less than 1. So here this difference is positive, but if x into y is positive, then tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y equal to pi plus tan inverse of x plus y upon 1 minus xy if x is positive, y is positive and x into y is greater than 1. Tan x plus tan y equal to tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y equal to pi by 2 if x is positive, y is positive and x into y is exactly 1. Next one, tan inverse of x minus tan inverse of y equal to tan inverse of x minus y upon 1 plus xy, when only x positive, y positive, there is no any restriction on x into y. The next property, 2 times tan inverse of x is equal to sin inverse of 2x upon 1 plus x square when x is lies between -1 and 1. 2 times tan inverse of x is equal to cos inverse of 1 minus x square upon 1 plus x square when x is greater than or equal to 0. 2 times tan inverse of x equal to tan inverse of 2x upon 1 minus x square when x is lies between -1 and 1. So here we can express 2 times tan inverse of x in terms of sin inverse, in terms of cos inverse, as well as in terms of tan inverse. So these all formulas are very important to solve the examples from exercise 3.3. Let's start the example from exercise 3.3. First example, find the principal values of following. First one, sin inverse of 1 by 2. So here we'll suppose sin inverse of 1 by 2 as x. So here 1 by 2 must be belongs to the domain of sin inverse and x must be belongs to the range of sin inverse. So here where 1 by 2 belongs to domain of sin inverse, which is closed interval -1, 1 and x belongs to the range of sin inverse, which is closed interval -pi by 2, pi by 2. So this closed interval -pi by 2, pi by 2 also called principal branch value of sin inverse. So here if sin inverse of 1 by 2 as x, we can say sin x is equal to 1 by 2. Now as we know, sin is half for angle pi by 6. So therefore we can say x is equal to pi by 6 and x must be belongs to this interval. So here x is equal to pi by 6, where pi by 6 is belongs to principal branch value, that is range of sin inverse, closed interval -pi by 2, pi by 2. So therefore sin inverse of 1 by 2 equal to pi by 6. So therefore the principal value of sine inverse of 1 by 2 is pi by 6. See second example, cosec inverse of 2. Let cosec inverse of 2 as x. So here 2 must be belongs to the domain of cosec inverse and x must be belongs to the range of cosec inverse. So here 2 belongs to set of real numbers except close interval, open interval minus 1 comma 1, and x belongs to close interval minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2 except 0. This is the range of cosec inverse. So here as cosec inverse of 2 equal to x, therefore cosec of x equal to 2. So as we know cosec x is 2 for cosec of pi by 6. So we can write x is equal to pi by 6. So where this pi by 6 belongs to the range of cosec inverse, which is principal branch value, that is pi by 6 belongs to close interval minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2 except 0. So therefore cosec inverse of 2 is equal to pi by 6. So therefore the principal branch value of cosec inverse of 2 is pi by 6. Let's see next example, tan inverse of minus 1. Let tan inverse of minus 1 as x. Now minus 1 must be belongs to the domain of tan inverse and x must be belongs to the range of tan inverse. So here minus 1 belongs to set of real numbers, that is domain, and x belongs to open interval minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2, which is range of tan inverse, which is also called principal branch value. Now as tan inverse of minus 1 equal to x, therefore tan of x equal to minus 1. So here as we know tan of pi by 4 is 1. So this one can be replaced by tan of pi by 4. But we cannot compare this as one side is positive, another one is negative. So we must convert this negative trigonometric function to positive function. Here tan is negative. As we know tan is negative in second and fourth quadrant. The angle lies in second is greater than 90 and the angle lies in fourth quadrant is less than 360. Those both angles are not lying in the principal branch value, that is the range of tan inverse. So there is no any use of this allied angle formula. So here we can use the negative angle formula, that minus tan of theta can be written as tan of minus theta. So as tan of minus x equal to minus tan x. So we can write this minus tan of pi by 4 as tan of minus pi by 4. Now here this angle is lies between the range of tan inverse, that is principal branch value. So therefore x is equal to minus pi by 4, which is belongs to the range of tan inverse, open interval minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2. So therefore tan inverse of minus 1 equal to minus pi by 4. Therefore the principal value of tan inverse of minus 1 is minus pi by 4. Let's see cos inverse of minus 1 by 2. So let cos inverse of minus 1 by 2 equal to x. So here minus 1 by 2 belongs to the domain of cos inverse and x belongs to the range of cos inverse. So here minus 1 by 2 belongs to close interval minus 1 comma 1 and x belongs to close interval 0 comma 5. So as cos inverse of minus 1 by 2 equal to x, so cos x is equal to minus 1 by 2. As we know cos x is half for cos of pi by 3. So cos x equal to minus cos pi by 3. So here we cannot compare the both side, as one side is positive, another one is negative. So we must convert this negative cos angle in terms of positive, as cos is negative in second and third quadrant. So here we require the angle lies between 0 and pi. So we can use the angle lies in second quadrant. So cos of minus theta can be written as cos of pi minus x, which is lies in second quadrant. So therefore cos x equal to this minus the negative cos of pi by 3 can be written as cos of pi minus pi by 3, that is 2 pi by 3. So therefore x is equal to 2 pi by 3, where 2 pi by 3 lies between 0 and pi. So therefore cos inverse of minus 1 by 2 equal to 2 pi by 3. Therefore the principal value of cos inverse of half is 2 pi by 3. Let's see second example. Evaluate the following: tan inverse of 1 plus cos inverse of 1 by 2 plus sin inverse of 1 by 2. So here we have to find out the value of this whole expression. So to find this value of expression, we can calculate the individual terms. So here let tan inverse of 1 as x, as x must be belongs to the range of tan inverse, which is open interval minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2. So as tan inverse of 1 equal to x, we can write tan x equal to 1. So therefore tan of pi by 4 is 1. So x is equal to pi by 4. So we can write x equal to pi by 4 as pi by 4 belongs to the range of tan inverse, which is principal branch value. Therefore tan inverse of 1 equal to pi by 4. So we get the value of first term. Now we will calculate the value of second term. So let cos inverse of 1 by 2 is equal to y, where y belongs to the range of cos inverse, which is close interval 0 comma pi. So as cos inverse of 1 by 2 is y, cos of y equal to half. So cos of pi by 3 is 1 by 2. So here y equal to pi by 3, where pi by 3 lies between the range of cos inverse, which is principal branch value. So therefore cos inverse of 1 by 2, which is pi by 3. So we get the value of second term. Now we will calculate the value of third term. So let sin inverse of 1 by 2 as z, where z belongs to the range of sin inverse, that is closed interval minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2, which is also called principal branch value. So here as sin inverse of 1 by 2 as z, so sin z equal to 1 by 2. So therefore sin z equal to, as sin of 30 is half, that is sin pi by 6 is 1 by 2. So we get z equal to pi by 6. So pi by 6 lies between the range of sin inverse, which is closed interval minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2. So sin inverse of 1 by 2 equal to pi by 6. Now we can put all these three values from equation 1, 2, 3. We can put the values in this expression. We will get tan inverse of 1, which is pi by 4, cos inverse of half, which is pi by 3, sin inverse of 1 by 2, which is pi by 6. So here the denominators all are different. We will take the LCM of 4, 3 and 6, which is 12. So we will make the denominator 12 by multiplying some numbers. So here to make the denominator 12, we will multiply by 3. To make the denominator 12, we will multiply by 4. And to make the denominator 12, we will multiply by 2. So we can write 3 pi plus 4 pi plus 2 pi upon 12. So 3 plus 4 plus 2, that is 9 pi upon 12. So here 9 and 12 both are divisible by 3. So 3 3s are 3 4s are. So finally we get the value of this expression, that is tan inverse of 1 plus cos inverse of 1 by 2 plus sin inverse of 1 by 2, which is 3 pi by 4. Let's see second example. So here to find this value, we will suppose tan inverse of root 3 as x, where x must be belongs to the range of tan inverse, which is closed interval, open interval minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2. So here as tan inverse of root 3 equal to x, tan x equal to root 3, as tan of pi by 3, which is root 3, so x equal to pi by 3, where pi by 3 it belongs to the range of tan inverse, which is open interval minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2. So we get tan inverse of root 3 equal to pi by 3. So we get the value of first term. Let's calculate the value of second term. So let sec inverse of minus 2 as y, where y must be belongs to the range of sec inverse, which is open interval 0 comma pi except the midpoint, which is pi by 2. So even we can solve this by taking their reciprocal also. So here sec of pi equal to minus 2. So as we know sec of pi by 3 is 2. So sec of pi equal to minus sec of pi by 3. So here we cannot compare the both sides, as first term is positive and this side is negative. So we can convert this negative angle in terms of positive. As we know sec is negative in second and third quadrant. So here as we require angle lies between 0 and pi, so we can use angle lies in second quadrant. So here minus sec x can be written as sec of pi minus x. So therefore sec y equal to sec of this minus sec x can sec of pi by 3 can be written as sec of pi minus pi by 3, that is sec of 2 pi by 3. So therefore y equal to 2 pi by 3, where 2 pi by 3 is lies between 0 and pi. So therefore sec inverse of minus 2 equal to 2 pi by 3. So now we can put this both values in this expression. So from 1 and 2, tan inverse of root 3 minus sec inverse of minus 2 pi by 3 minus 2 pi by 3. So the base denominator are same, so we can subtract the numerator. So pi minus 2 pi upon 3, which is minus pi by 3. So we get the value. Let's see the next example. Prove that the following: sin inverse of minus 1 by 2 plus cos inverse of minus root 3 by 2 equal to cos inverse of minus 1 by 2. So to prove this, we must calculate the value of LHS as well as value of RHS. To find the value of LHS, we'll suppose this first term as x, second term as y. So let sin inverse of minus 1 by 2 as x, where x belongs to the range of sin inverse, which is closed interval minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2. So as sin inverse of minus 1 by 2 equal to x, we can write sin x equal to minus 1 by 2. As we know, sin x is half for angle pi by 6. So therefore sin of x equal to minus sin of pi by 6. So here we must convert this negative angle in terms of positive. Sin is negative in third and fourth quadrant, but we require the angle lies between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, that is in between minus 92 plus 90. So here there is no any use of allied angle formula, so we must use the negative angle formula. Minus sin of x can be written as sin of minus x. So here minus sin of pi by 6 can be written as sin of minus pi by 6. So x equal to minus pi by 6, where minus pi by 6 is belongs to the range which is closed interval minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2. So therefore sin inverse of minus 1 by 2 equal to minus pi by 6. Let's calculate the value of second term. So let cos inverse of minus root 3 by 2 equal to y, where y belongs to the range of cos inverse, which is closed interval 0 comma pi. So as cos inverse of minus root 3 by 2 equal to y, so we can write cos y equal to minus root 3 by 2. As we know, cos is root 3 by 2 for angle 30, that is minus as it is cos of pi by 6, which is root 3 by 2. Now here again we cannot compare the both sides. We must convert this negative angle, negative trigonometric function in terms of positive. As cos is negative in second and third quadrant, and we require the angle lies between 0 and 180, that is in between first and second quadrant. So we can use the allied angle from second quadrant. So minus cos of angle can be written as cos of pi minus some angle. So here minus cos x can be written as cos of pi minus x. So therefore cos phi equal to minus cos of pi by 6 can be written as cos of pi minus pi by 6, that is cos of 5 pi by 6. So therefore y equal to 5 pi by 6, where 5 pi by 6 belongs to the range of cos inverse, which is closed interval 0 comma pi. Therefore we get cos inverse of minus root 3 by 2, which is 5 pi by 6. So we get the value. The terms are in LHS, the first and second. Now let's calculate the value of RHS. Let cos inverse of minus 1 by 2 as z, where z belongs to the range of cos inverse, which is closed interval 0 comma pi, which is also called principal branch value. So therefore cos of z equal to minus 1 by 2. As we know, cos of 60 is half. So here cos z equal to minus cos of pi by 3. So here we must convert this negative angle, negative trigonometric function in terms of positive. As we know, cos is negative in second and third quadrant. We require angle in 0 to 180. So we can use the angle lies in second quadrant. So minus cos x can be written as cos of pi minus x. So So therefore cos z equal to cos of 2 pi by 3. So this minus cos of pi by 3 can be written as cos of pi minus pi by 3, which is cos of 2 pi by 3. So therefore z equal to 2 pi by 3, where 2 pi by 3 belongs to closed interval 0 comma pi. So call it as equation 3. So now from equation 1 and 2 we will get the value of LHS, that is sin inverse of minus 1 by 2 plus cos inverse of minus root 3 by 2, which is minus pi by 6 plus 5 pi by 6. The denominators are same, so we can add the numerator, that is minus pi plus 5 pi, 4 pi upon 6, which can be written as 2 pi by 3, and which is exactly the RHS, that is cos inverse of minus 1 by 2. So from equation 3, which is cos inverse of minus 1 by 2, we proved LHS equal to RHS. Let's see the second example. Sin inverse of 3 by 5 plus cos inverse of 12 by 13 equal to sin inverse of 56 upon 65. Now we will suppose x and y for these two terms. So let sin inverse of 3 by 5 as x and cos inverse of 12 by 13 equal to y. So here for this type of example, here as we know there is no standard angle for which sin is 3 by 5 or cos is 12 by 13. So for this type of example, if we suppose the first term sin inverse as x and the second term cos inverse as y, then we will get sin x, which is 3 by 5, and cos y equal to 12 by 13. So here from sin x we have to calculate cos x, and from cos y we have to calculate sin y using the fundamental identities. As if we know the sin of x, then we can calculate cos of x, that using the fundamental identity sin inverse of x, sin square x plus cos square x equal to 1. So cos x can be written as square root of 1 minus sin square x. So we can put the value of sin x as 3 by 5 here. We will get square root of 1 minus 3 by 5 square, that is 9 by 25. So here 25 minus 9 cross product, which is 16 upon 25, which is 4 by 5. So from sin x we get the value of cos x. Similarly from this cos y we can calculate sin x, sin y. So as we know sin square y plus cos square y equal to 1, so we can write sin y equal to square root of 1 minus cos square y. So here 1 minus cos y, which is 12 by 13. So 12 by 13 square, which is 144 upon 169. So here cross product 169 minus 144, which is 25 upon 169. Its square root, which is 5 by 13. So here from cos y we get the value of sin y. As we know the value of sin x, cos x, sin y, cos y, we can use. So here we have to prove that this LHS equal to sin inverse of some angle. So that is why we will consider sin of this angle x plus y. So we know sin of x plus y, which is sin x plus cos y, sin x cos y plus cos x sin y. Now we will put the value of sin x cos y and cos x sin y. From here we can write sin x 3 by 5 cos y, that is 12 by 13, cos x 4 by 5 and sin y 5 by 13. So here the product, here 13 into 5 65 and numerator 12 into 3 36. Similarly here 13 into 5 65 and the numerator 4 into 5 20. So if we add the numerator we get 56 upon 65. As sin of x plus y is 56 upon 65, so we can write x plus y equal to sin inverse of 56 upon 65. And as we know x, which is sin inverse of 3 by 5, and y, which is cos inverse of 12 by 13. So if we put the value of x and y, we get sin inverse of 3 by 5 plus cos inverse of 12 by 13 equal to sin inverse of 56 upon 65. which is proved. Let's see the third example. Cos inverse of 3 by 5 plus cos inverse of 4 by 5 equal to pi by 2. So here, to prove this, we will suppose the first term has x. So let cos inverse of 3 by 5 equal to x. So here cos x is equal to 3 by 5. From cos x we can calculate the value of sin x. So using fundamental identity, sin square x plus cos square x equal to 1, we can write sin x equal to square root of 1 minus cos square x. So if we put the value of cos x, which is 3 by 5, we will get 25 minus 9 upon 25, which is 16 upon 25, its square root, that is 4 by 5. Now here from cos x we will get the value of sin x. So here we get sin x equal to 4 by 5. So if we take as sin x equal to 4 by 5, we can write sin inverse of 4 by 5, which is x. Now if we observe here from equation 1, cos inverse of 3 by 5, which is x, and sin inverse of 4 by 5, which is also x. So now we can replace this value by sin inverse of 4 by 5. So from 1 and 2, this value cos inverse of 3 by 5 can be replaced by sin inverse of 4 by 5. Now if we observe the carefully, here we will get sin inverse of 4 by 5 plus cos inverse of 4 by 5. Now we can use the identity, that is sin inverse of x plus cos inverse of x, where x is lies between minus 1 and plus 1. So we can use the identity. So we can write, which is pi by 2, since sin inverse of x plus cos inverse of x equal to pi by 2. So in this way we can prove cos inverse of 3 by 5 plus cos inverse of 4 by 5 as pi by 2. Let's see the fourth one. Tan inverse of 1 by 2 plus tan inverse of 1 by 3 equal to pi by 4. So here the first term is tan inverse of some angle, second term is tan inverse of some number. So here we can use the properties, that is tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y equal to tan inverse of x plus y upon 1 minus xy, but there is some condition. So here x must be positive, y must be positive, and product x into y is less than 1. So here x is 1 by 2 and y is 1 by 3, which both are positive, and their product 1 by 2 into 1 by 3, which is 1 by 6, which is less than 1. So obviously we can use this property. So here we can write tan inverse of 1 by 2 plus tan inverse of 1 by 3 as tan inverse of 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 upon 1 minus 1 by 2 into 1 by 3, using this property. So therefore 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3, by taking the cross product, 3 plus 2, which is 5 upon 2 into 3, 6. Here similarly 1 minus 1 upon 2 into 3, that is 1 by 6. So if we solve 1 minus 1 by 6, we get 5 by 6. So here 5 by 6, 5 by 6 cancel, we will get tan inverse of 1, and tan inverse of 1, which is pi by 4, we get the RHS. Let's see the next example. 2 times tan inverse of 1 by 3 equal to tan inverse of 3 by 4. So here we have to express 2 times tan inverse in terms of tan inverse. So we can use the property, that is 2 times tan inverse of x is equal to tan inverse of 2x upon 1 minus x square. So here the condition is x must be lies between minus 1 to plus 1. The given x, which is 1 by 3, so which is lies between minus 1 and 1. So we can use this formula. So therefore 2 times tan inverse of 1 by 3 can be written as tan inverse of 2 times, that is 1 by 3 upon 1 minus x square, which is 1 by 3 square, 1 by 9. So 2 into 1 by 3, that is 2 by 3, and if we solve this, 1 minus 1 by 9, we will get 8 by 9. So we can write this as 2 by 3, division replaced by multiplication. We will take the reciprocal, that is 9 by 8. So here 3 ones are 3 threes are, 2 ones are 2 fours are. So we will get tan inverse of 3 by 4, which is required RHS. Let's see The next example. Here we have to prove tan inverse of cos theta plus sin theta upon cos theta minus sin theta equal to pi by 4 plus theta. So let's consider the LHS. Here condition theta belongs to minus pi by 4 comma pi by 4. Consider the LHS, that is tan inverse of cos theta plus sin theta upon cos theta minus sin theta. Here we will divide the numerator and denominator by term cos theta. If we divide by cos theta in numerator and denominator, we will get cos theta upon cos theta, which is 1, sin theta upon cos theta, which is tan theta. So here cos theta upon cos theta 1 and sin theta upon cos theta, which is tan theta. Now if we observe here, so this is 1 plus tan theta upon 1 minus tan theta. This tan theta can be written as 1 into tan theta. So here we can write this expression as tan inverse of 1 plus tan inverse of tan theta. By using this property, that is tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y is tan inverse of x plus y upon 1 minus x into y. If we compare this both terms, they are equivalent. We can express this as tan inverse of 1 plus tan inverse of tan theta. So here, as we know, tan inverse of 1, which is pi by 4, and tan inverse of tan theta is theta. So when theta lies between minus pi by 4 to pi by 4. So here the restriction on theta, which is given in the example. Even we can prove this example using some different method also. We can replace this value 1 by tan of pi by 4, and even we can write here 1, which is tan of pi by 4, and we can use the formula, that is tan of a plus b, that is tan of pi by 4 plus theta, and tan inverse tan will be cancelled. We will get tan of pi by 4 plus theta. Let's see second example. Next example, tan inverse of square root of 1 minus cos theta upon 1 plus cos theta equal to theta by 2 if theta belongs to minus pi comma pi. So here we will consider the LHS, which is tan inverse of square root of 1 minus cos theta upon 1 plus cos theta. So here we have to use the trigonometric identities, that we have to express this 1 minus cos theta and 1 plus cos theta in terms of sine and cos. So here, as we know, 1 minus cos theta, which is 2 sine square theta by 2, and 1 plus cos theta, which is 2 cos square theta by 2. So these are called half angle formula. So here 2 will be cancelled, sine square upon cos square, which is tan square. So we get tan inverse of square root of tan square theta by 2. So here square will be cancelled. We get tan inverse of tan of theta by 2, which is theta by 2. So remember to write tan inverse of tan of theta by 2 as theta by 2. The restriction on this theta by 2 must be belongs to the range restricted domain of tan theta, which is given in the condition. So in this way we can prove tan inverse of square root of 1 minus cos theta upon 1 plus cos theta as theta by 2.